All right, good evening, everybody. The time is 7 o'clock. We're going to officially call this meeting to order. Deb, would you kindly do roll call?
Counselor Williams,
Counselor Williams, are you here?
Counselor Williams, Counselor Purser,
Here.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi,
Here.
and Counselor Kumara.
Present.
Great, thank you very much. I'm going to ask everybody to please stand for a moment of silence to collect your thoughts, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. We have an agenda before us. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have a few changes. The first one would be we're adding a proclamation under section 4 as item number B. Then the other two things are corrections. On consent agenda item 5A, those minutes should be the minutes of February 24th, 2026. But a typo says it's 2028. And then item 5C says that Ally Daniels' term will expire in March. That actually should be May of 2029.
Great.
And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. All right. With that,
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as amended. Second.
got a second and third. Any questions or comments?
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish, Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
Counselor Kumara.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Great. Thank you. We've got a couple items under proclamations and presentations. The first one is recognition of the Fruita Academy graduates. We're going to probably do this a little differently than we have in the past. So, and I'm going to need help from everybody on council for this. We're going to start with Todd. We're going to take turns reading the names of the graduates. And this is going to only be slightly off.
Get ready.
That's
Hold on, I need a moment.
I do have a few things to say beforehand, if you don't mind. Okay,
I'm trying to figure out how to,
awesome. We are changing up, making it more fun this year, but
yes.
Mayor and members of City Council, CR Amen, Communications and Engagement Manager. As always, it's an honor to be here tonight. And we're recognizing the 4th class of the Fruita Academy. It's already been 4 years. This year's Academy ran for 5 weeks, and students heard from leaders, including the mayor, Mayor Bremen, City Manager Shannon Vossen, and all of our department directors. And this year, they also heard from our partners at Lower Valley Fire, Ute Water, and the Fruita Area Chamber of Commerce. And throughout the Academy, students receive tours of the Fruita Community Center, the wastewater reclamation facility, and then the Lower Valley Fire Station as well. So it's a great opportunity if anyone in the room is interested in signing up next year. It always signs up pretty fast. So these students took time out of their very busy lives to spend the past 5 weeks with us. And we are truly lucky to have a community that is engaged and willing to learn about their local government. For this year's class, we had 30 students, and we get to recognize them tonight. I also want to just say a huge thank you to all of our staff that help put this on every year. They do a wonderful job with their presentations and really showing what we do here at the city. So thank you so much. So I know not every student is here tonight, but I think we should still read everyone's name to recognize them. But cue the music.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Are we ready?
Yep, go.
Who's reading the
All right.
So Todd, if you want
All right.
to take from
Aiden Fisher.
Yeah, like how you said it, the graduation.
Oh, congratulations.
Linda Sinclair.
David Hartley.
Say yours again.
Oh.
I don't think she heard you.
Linda Sinclair.
Oh, did he get another one? Did we go backwards now?
Should take two.
Is Linda here?
I'll do this one. I'll do.
Kelly Schultz.
Daniela Walker.
I don't know if they can hear these mics out there. Hey, Shannon, I don't know if they can hear us.
Hold on.
Maybe turn the music down.
Yeah, turn the music down a little
That
bit.
music's blasting. It's a dance club in here with that.
Daniela Walker.
They're not all here. All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Margaret Peterson.
Pam Lawman.
Say it again, Janine.
And Paul Lawman.
Hold on, Amy. Hold on. Jeannie Hanahan. Jean Hanahan. Now it's Amy's turn.
Kurt, Holub?
All the ones that didn't come.
Corey Matney.
Felicia Jones.
Ted Carpenter.
Kristen Rao.
No, Mary's got messed up.
Cam Pennington. Not here.
Joanne Christensen.
Kenneth Britting. Sue Keller.
Kevin Keller.
Jan Peterson.
Lynn Holmes.
Jane Mammal.
Do you have them?
Mary Graziano.
John Mason.
Lane Mason.
Laura Smith. Okay. I think so.
We might have missed yours, Joni, but get up here. I'll get you your certificate. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, I got to get a group photo.
Is it Joanne?
Yeah. Oh, and do you want counsel?
Yep, we gotta find a suitor. You guys have any other?
We don't have any.
No.
Thank you. You have one coming.
Smiles and everything.
All right. Thank you.
I was just gonna start saying names like Newt Klusmeyer,
Kevin.
Shannon Vossen,
Kind of don't want to take that off. Can we also give a round of applause and a thank you to CR and the staff? All right, we are not done. Next, we have a proclamation proclaiming Teacher Appreciation Week of May 4th through the 8th of 2026. And here to present it is Janine Purser.
Whereas Mesa County Valley School District 51 employs 3,462 teachers and staff currently serving 19,430 students in 40 schools throughout the Grand Valley. And whereas teachers work hard in schools throughout the nation every day to provide a safe, high quality, and stable learning environment for children. And whereas the education teachers provide has the power to strengthen our economy and our society as a whole by growing students who graduate prepared to become successful members of society and the workplace. And whereas our future is written in schools across our country and teachers should be held in high public esteem, reflecting the value placed on their skills and abilities and the importance of public education. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Fruita City Council proclaims May 4th through the 8th, 2026, as Teacher Appreciation Week throughout this community and calls upon all members of our community to express their appreciation for the educators who engage, equip, and empower our learning community today for a limitless tomorrow.
Great, thank you. And here to accept it is Angela Christensen, Executive Director, School District 51, and anybody else she chooses to bring up with her.
She's got an entourage. Look at that.
Thank you so much. I'm Angela Christensen. I'm the Executive Director of the D51 Foundation. And I just want all of you to know this proclamation means so much to our D51 teachers. And we want to sincerely thank you. It will be shared throughout School District 51. D51 teachers have worked hard to increase our graduation rates to record highs. They've made sure our 19,000 students feel safe and supported in a strong learning environment. And in addition, and this is very exciting, their focus on academic growth and achievement helped our school district recognize 27 of our schools as performance schools with the highest academic rating in the state of Colorado. Their hard work day in and day out with our students makes a difference across Mesa County. And all of you, the city of Fruita, has regularly been supporters. Every year when I ask and reach out, you always say yes. And I want you to know it makes a big difference. So we'll be sharing this recognition. And I brought along quite a few folks who are key leaders in the district. And I'd like them to introduce themselves and just say a short word or two.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Emily Curry. I'm the principal at Rimrock. All of my staff, not just my teachers, appreciate the recognition for the meaningful work they do. So thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Newt Klusmeyer. I get to be the principal at Fruita Monument High School. You guys know that we are lucky at Fruita Monument to have one of the best, if not the best, teaching staffs in the entire valley. And everything we accomplish at Fruita Monument, none of that happens by accident. It's because we have such strong community support behind us. This week alone, we've had a number of businesses reach out to support our teachers and show their appreciation. So this is the proverbial cherry on top, right? Strong schools don't happen without the support of a strong community. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrea Creeves. I'm the Assistant Director over at the D51 Foundation, and I just want to say thanks for recognizing our teachers, and thank you to all of our teachers and staff in District 51 for making kids feel seen every day, and thank you for seeing the work of our schools and our teachers in boosting all of this for the whole community. So thank you.
Dan Worth, I'm the Teacher Association President this year for Mesa Valley Education Associations, also a fifth grade school teacher. Fruita Monument High School graduate, class of 82 as well. So great to be here in front of you. And what an honor it is for me to accept and hear this proclamation for all of our educators who show up every day for our kids. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I do want to point out the really nice blue Adidas.
Yeah.
I would have known I would have worn mine. I don't have mine on. I know, those are bright blue. Thank you guys. All right, last but certainly not least, we have our third proclamation or second proclamation proclaiming May 2026 as Bike Month and Friday, May 15th as Bike to Work Day in the city of Fruita. And here to present this, Rich, you come on up. We'll wait until we read it. All right,
Give me a chance here.
We got ahead ourselves.
it's exciting.
Whereas Colorado is a premier bicycling state and the city of Fruita offers some of the best bicycling opportunities in the country. And whereas Mesa County has designated May 2026 as Bike Month to celebrate bicycling for transportation, fun, and health. And whereas bicycling truly adds to Fruita's small town atmosphere by enjoying the experience of fun and freedom of safely riding a bike to work, school, on errands, and for recreation. And whereas the city of Fruita has gained a worldwide reputation as a mecca for outstanding mountain biking, gravel riding, and road riding, and whereas the city of Fruita proudly aspires to hold the title of Trails Capital of the World for its celebrated mountain biking trails on 18 Road, the Cocopelli area, and the Colorado Riverfront Trail. And whereas bicycling activities and attractions have a positive impact on the city of Fruita's economy and tourism industry and stimulates economic development by making the area attractive to businesses and citizens who enjoy the outdoors and healthy lifestyles. And whereas creating bicycle-friendly communities has been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and the quality of life, to boost community spirit, to improve traffic safety, and to reduce pollution and congestion. And whereas the city of Fruita will be promoting the following bicycling activities in May: Friday, May 16th, kick off Bike to Work Day on Friday, May 15th at Civic Center Park with a free pancake breakfast and coffee from Best Slope and from 7 to 9 a.m. Enjoy a group ride after breakfast with the Fruita City staff. Now, therefore, we, the Fruita City Council, does hereby proclaim May 2026 as Bike Month and Friday, May 15th, 2026 as Bike to Work Day in the city of Fruita, and call upon all citizens to participate in bicycling activities for improved health and community well-being.
Thank you, Rich. Ciara, I see you have a team up there.
We're so excited to share about Bike Month. Yeah, Mayor, members of City Council, switching gears here a little bit, but Ciara Amon, Interim Parks and Recreation Director. Thank you so much for having us tonight and recognizing May as Bike Month in the city of Fruita. And as you know, biking is kind of a big deal here. From the mountain biking trails, like Councilor Parrish mentioned, to the gravel roads, to the One Riverfront Trail connecting to Little Saltwash, and of course, the bike park and wheel park that we now have. We're very lucky to live in this place. And we're always looking for new ways to expand the programmings that we offer around biking. And of course, we have safety comes to mind first. So the first program I wanted to share about was a program that we started last year, the year before, with Family Health West, the bike helmet program. So if anyone's not aware of it, we give out free helmets to kids that need a helmet. So all you have to do is go to fruita.org/helmets and fill out a form, and we'll work with you to get a helmet that you need. And then I want to introduce Steve and Shauna. They're on our Parks and Recreation staff, and they're going to tell you about a few opportunities that we have going on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. Thank you. Very excited about what we have to offer coming up. We are working very hard to start the bike share program. We will be kicking it off hopefully here this summer and ready to rock and roll. We have $15,000 to start the program, which is awesome. And we want to thank $10,000 from the Mesa Mulberry Apartment, $5,000 from Western Colorado Community Foundation, the Dave and Mary Wood Fund. Again, this is just a great opportunity to enjoy Fruita and offer that to the public and our citizens and visitors of Fruita. So very excited about that. And I will be flipping the pancakes, and I guarantee you they're going to be great. So, guaranteed.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. I'm Shauna Harris, the Guest Services and Fitness Coordinator at the Fruita Community Center. We would like to invite you to celebrate Bike to Work Day with us, pedal in for breakfast, and carb up before you clock in. We're hosting a pancake bar for everyone who bikes to work Friday, May 15th, 7 to 9 a.m. Join us at Civic Center Park for fresh stacks, hot coffee, fresh fruit, and high fives. Hop on your bikes with us at 8:45 a.m. for a bike parade with our city manager, Shannon Vossen. See you all there.
Thank you very much. You guys come?
One more.
One more. All right. Oh.
We can try.
Oh.
You should notice Rich was on the ground and still taller than you are.
I know.
I only have one leg. And
You got a leg up.
All right.
knee leg up.
That moves us along to public participation in our consent agenda. This portion of our meeting is set aside for City Council to listen to comments from the public about items not on tonight's agenda or items that appear on the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are those for which all conditions or requirements have already been met, and they're typically approved with a single motion without separate discussion. We welcome and value your input to help maintain a welcoming, respectful, and productive environment. We ask that there be no clapping, cheering, booing, jeering, or sign holding. This helps to ensure that everyone, regardless of their viewpoint, feels comfortable sharing their thoughts. Each speaker will have 3 minutes, and we ask that you begin by stating your name and whether or not you're a resident of Fruita. If you have any materials you'd like to share with council, please hand them to our city clerk, Deb Woods, so that they can be entered into public record and distributed appropriately. While council will not respond during this portion of the meeting, please know that we are listening and we greatly appreciate you taking the time to participate in this very important process. So with that, I'd like to open up the floor for anyone who would like to speak on anything on the consent or that is not on the agenda. Please come on up.
My name is Joni Ellis, and I live on South Apple Street. And I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity, Mayor and council people, that I can tell you about something very, very exciting. I am a member of the Rotary Club of Fruita. We just met across the way here and told my club tonight that, as you may know, our tagline is good people doing good things. And one of our biggest fundraisers is pouring beer at Mike the Headless Chicken. All that money goes back to Fruita, and we pour as much beer as we can, kind of a funny thing to give back to kids, but a lot of the money that we earn goes back to kids with high school scholarships, with leadership camps. We helped update Rotary Triangle Park, trees at Snook's Bottom, and we give every year all the first graders in Fruita, we give books to, and on and on and on. But this year, I'm so excited because I submitted to the Rotary Magazine, which has a mere circulation of 1 million people around the world, Mike the Headless Chicken Festival, and we were accepted. So Ciara helped me get a photo, and I just gave it to Deb, an article in the Rotary Magazine, again, a circulation of 1 million people that has Mike the Headless Chicken Festival in there. I also gave her just another thing that we do here in Fruita is that we are building wheelchair ramps for housebound people, another project that we have in Fruita Rotary. And we also got that in the paper in our local paper, not 1,000 circulation, 1 million circulation, but with Grand Junction Rotary. So thank you very much. And just thank you for giving me the opportunity to be excited about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. I guess.
I want to clap.
Got you all clapping.
Yeah.
I'm Tessa. I live here. Tessa Bynum. Sorry. Sorry. Good evening, council. I want to address a couple concerns I have regarding transparency, accessibility, and public communication regarding both city meetings and recent community events. Over the past week, information regarding James' resignation has circulated throughout the community without comment available to residents outside of the workshop setting. While I understand it'll be addressed tonight, the situation highlights a larger issue with public access to information. Currently, workshop meetings are not live streamed or recorded, and as of today, there are no posted minutes since February 3rd. In addition, multiple recent meetings of City Council are not available online to rewatch. At a certain point, this creates a meaningful gap in public record and leaves residents without reliable ways to verify what occurred during public meetings. It also creates a situation where important community information is effectively shared through word of mouth instead of public record. I obviously care deeply about staying informed and engaged in this community, but public accessibility should not be dependent on someone being able to be in this room to know what's happening. I also want to address the significant confusion and concern surrounding Sunday shelter-in-place events that happened. Multiple community members have described chaos, including reports of individuals being forced to leave the rec center during a shelter-in-place incident. And I don't know if you guys know this, but shelter-in-place means you stay inside. So I think some clarification on what happened there would be great. Moments involving public safety require clear communication and public trust. When information is delayed, inaccessible, or inconsistent, it creates confusion and anxiety within the community. I would strongly encourage the city to prioritize timely posting of the minutes and improve accessibility of the workshop meetings. Thanks.
Thank you, Tess. Please come on up.
Council.
If you can hand them to Deb first would be great.
Oh, wait, it'll make a little bit more sense when you have that in front of you. For members of the audience, it is a spreadsheet with a bunch of numbers on it. Sorry. that I couldn't get it to you ahead of time. This is fresh off the press. Assuming my timer has started. My name is Thomas Wells. I live in Fruita. I'm also a member of the Planning Commission. I, of course, am not representing Planning Commission here tonight. I'm here as an individual and also a member, though, of Planning Commission who cares quite a bit about housing and affordability issues in the community. You all remember that we had a housing needs assessment, and out of that came a conclusion that we need more than something like 300 homes in the 100% AMI and below range over the next, I can't remember, it was a decade or so. And through various conversations with folks and listening in on workshops, I became curious about what do those 300 homes look like in those lower affordability ranges? Are those things that we can make market rate affordable? Do they all need to be subsidized? Are they all apartments? Are they all duplexes? We've talked a lot about infill and tiny homes and I don't know, townhomes, but are there ways to make those sorts of homes affordable while also still being market rate? So I put together this spreadsheet. I don't know if the numbers are right. I don't know if my assumptions are right. There are certainly folks in this room who can check my math and check some of the assumptions, but I think they're pretty close. And there are a lot of numbers on the spreadsheet, and I only have a minute and a half left, so I'm not going to try to go through them all. But the second table, really the one in the middle, kind of lays out my attempt at what does a affordable home look like in some of the lower income ranges. You'll see a section there on ADUs with large lots, small lots, possibly prefab, with some assumptions about lot size reductions and kind of build quality reductions. And over on the far right, you can see at what level of area median income these would be affordable at. I think it's a hopeful message taken from this is that even without deep subsidies and without real like changes, we can actually get some single family homes, albeit small single family homes on very small lots that are affordable even at say 40% of area median income or 60% with, again, no subsidies. This isn't land being donated. This isn't time being donated. I still have in here assuming a 20% developer margin on these projects. And so I think there is something something hopeful to be taken from this, that we don't need all apartments. Some of these might be better off as duplexes and townhomes. I'm not saying those are a bad idea for our community by any means, but I think that we should have conversations about some creative solutions. Fruit is great at being creative. Our staff are really great at being creative. And I think that we can get there, especially through infill, utilizing some of our underutilized lots. That's what I've taken away from this. I'm happy to, and I will try to remember to share the spreadsheet with you so you can go in and adjust the formulas as you like. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Is there anybody else that would like to come up and speak? All right, not seeing anybody else, I'm going to go ahead and close public participation and bring it back to council. So we have a number of items on the agenda. Is there any questions, concerns, or anything anybody would like to discuss? Janine? James?
No, I'm good.
That's agenda.
Yes.
Yeah. I need to recuse myself from, or I'd like to recuse myself from items A and B. I was not part of the council during those time periods.
That makes no sense. Thank you. All right. With that,
Move to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
I think Amy got that one. All right. Any last chance for any questions, comments, concerns? All right. Deb?
Counselor Purser?
Yes.
Counselor Parrish?
Yes.
Counselor Miller?
Yes.
Counselor Hansi?
Yes.
Counselor Kumro?
Say yes.
You can say
Yep.
it.
Yes.
And Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
It's just noted that you abstained from A and B. So,
You're saying yes to the other stuff.
all right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to action item. We have one action item tonight, which is ordinance 2026-06, a second reading, an ordinance amending the official zone map of the city of Fruita by rezoning approximately 20.3 acres of property located at parcel 2697-184-24-001 from a community service and recreation zone to a commercial 2 zone, the Launch Rezone. And our city planner, Joe Morris, is here to present.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, thank you for your time this evening. As the mayor stated, for your consideration tonight, I have ordinance number 2026-06. This is an application by 879 Raptor Road LLC, who's the owner of a parcel number 2697-184-24001. The applicant is requesting that the parcel be rezoned from its current zoning of community services and recreation to a commercial 2 or C2 zone. Legal notice for this application was done via postcards that were sent to all property owners within that 350-foot buffer zone that's shown above. In addition, the site was posted, the Civic Center was posted outside, and an ad was taken in the newspaper. So all legal notice was done in accordance with local and state law. In total, there are 5 criteria to consider when looking at a rezoning application. It will never be the case that all 5 criteria apply to every single application. As the ordinance reads, each rezoning application has to meet the first criteria that's listed and then one of the 4 remaining criteria. The criteria that apply to this property, this one's a little unique in that 3 criteria kind of apply, are summarized above. Staff's gone into greater detail in the staff report. But the first criteria reads, the proposed rezone is compatible with surrounding land uses pursuant to section 17.05.080.c and is consistent with the city's goals, policies, and comprehensive plan. So looking at the city's comprehensive plan and the future land use map, which is a part of that plan, the subject parcel is designated for innovation and flexibility type of land use. Now, a lot of the information in this blurb applies more to the parcels to the north of this subject property, but they are all part of that same designation. This category is currently zoned industrial, but has close proximity to both downtown and commercial areas. It has a recently completed paved trail that runs through it, connecting the downtown area and nearby neighborhoods to the Colorado River and recreation opportunities on the south side of the highway. This area still has many barriers to development, such as limited road access, and it may take a large master development in order to overcome the cost of these barriers. Live workspace and light manufacturing retail co-spaces are some of the ideas imagined for this area. Innovative multifamily residential could also be appropriate here, and this area could be considered for multiple types of underlying zoning to give it maximum flexibility for development. One thing I want to point out at this point is that the city's community services and recreation zone is one of the more restrictive zone types that the city has as it relates to the type of uses that are allowed. So for example, that live workspace and light manufacturing and multifamily is not allowed in CSR. Where the C2 zone, however, does allow those types of uses, and it would provide more flexibility. The C2 zone is intended to accommodate commercial development in appropriate areas with appropriate access, landscaping, frontage improvements, etc. This zone district provides allowances for uses and dimensions that are larger in scale than those allowed downtown. The area has good access to I-70, and it's appropriate for uses that serve residents, tourists, and pass-through traffic. Parcel sizes are larger than in the downtown and C1 zone district and may accommodate more parking. So when looking at the purposes for these zone districts, staff is of the opinion that this zone district does make this application conform to that first part of the first criteria. The second part has to do with compatibility with the surrounding land uses. To the east are properties that are zoned C2, so staff does not see any reason why similarly zoned properties would not be compatible with each other. To the north are some properties zoned industrial, But I-70 kind of acts as a buffer between the subject parcel and that area. To the west is the city's property, which is being developed in conjunction with this proposal. And to the south is the state park, which currently operates near commercial properties with no known conflict. So taking those items into consideration, staff is of the opinion that that first criteria is met. So this has kind of been a long process to get to where we are today with this property. Following the relocation of the city's sewer treatment facilities, much effort's been taken to redevelop this area, resulting in a public-private partnership between the city and the applicant. In 2023, a memorandum of understanding was signed between Two Forks Ventures and the city of Fruita. In 2024, Two Forks Ventures presented a due diligence report to the city council, and the council authorized a formal partnership by resolution 2024-46. In 2025, the subject property was officially sold to Two Forks, and in 2026, Two Forks Ventures initiated the rezoning process. The third criteria reads that the area for which the amendment is requested has changed substantially such that the proposed zoning better meets the needs of the community. Now, the current zoning of CSR was suitable or is suitable for public and quasi-public uses, and it was originally assigned to the area because it was the site of the city's sewer lagoons. These lagoons were decommissioned in 2011 following completion of the city's new sewer treatment plant. And the decommissioning of these lagoons is a significant change from how the land was used before. So if you see above, this is an image from several years ago showing the condition of the property. Fast forward to 2 years ago, and you can see the area has changed. And staff is of the opinion that the proposed zoning better meets the needs of the community, meaning that the third criteria is met. No reviewer expressed concerns with the rezoning. No public comments have been received by staff at this time. At their March 10th meeting, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the application to the City Council. And on page 53, you'll see a suggested motion where staff recommends that the council adopt ordinance number 2026-06. Next steps, if approved tonight, the ordinance will become effective 30 days after adoption. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Is there a representative from Two Forks Venture that would like to speak?
Mr. Mayor, council members, Gavin Brook with Two Forks Ventures and Cheney Bostick is also with me on the Zoom. I will take the very first part of this presentation, make it relatively brief. Joey's covered the majority of it. We practiced this once at PNZ and found that we had identical presentations. I'll go through a little bit of the history and what led up to this point, mainly for Councilor Kumro's benefit. I know that most of you were here for most of that process.
Gavin, can I stop you for 1 second? Can you pick up the microphone so it's a little closer to your mouth? Sorry, thank you.
So, how's that?
Raised it up.
Is that better?
Better.
Okay. I can bend at the knees too. Okay, quick project timeline, and then Cheney will take over the presentation on the rezoning criteria. So the beginning of our involvement with this was the memorandum of understanding. We started talking to the city in, I think, late 2022 was when we started talking about this project. So already shockingly, children have graduated from high school in this thing. We entered that memorandum of understanding and did a fair amount of due diligence research, began to do some beginning planning, did a feasibility study. And then following that, the city purchased several pieces of property and surrounding parcels from One Riverfront and from Mesa County, consolidating the entire 40 acres. It turned out to be 43 when we discovered, or 42 and a half when we discovered that we owned 2.5 acres at the bottom of the Colorado River as well. So that also went over to the city. We took a tour of Western Slope Riverfront developments, including Eagle, Basalt, and Glenwood Springs, with a prior iteration of the council, although you will recognize most people in the picture. And then we spent some time forming the guiding principles, and that really became the basis for the idea of the Innovation and Flexibility Zone District. So we are asking for a very straightforward, straight rezone to C2, which is a established Fruita zone district. And I think the guiding principles are really what set the tone for the collaboration and innovation that we'll see in the redevelopment of that property. We signed a development agreement in December 2024, and it looks like I've lost an image there, so I apologize for that. And then we started doing some initial site planning for phase 1. And I'll let Cheney take over from here.
Yeah, so thank you good evening, Council. I'm Cheney Bostic with Studio Seed Urban Design and Planning. I have worked in Fruita for years, most recently doing some COVID work and also working on the comprehensive plan. So I'm very familiar and love the community. I'm hired as a consultant to help Two Forks Ventures in the city with this. So just to quickly, Joey did mention these, but just wanted to go through line by line the criteria for rezoning. So we are compatible with surrounding land uses as it is designated innovation and flex, and it's jointly surrounded by the commercial 2 and community services recreation, and the goals of the property as Gavin mentioned, and the guiding principles really set the stage for this property to be innovative and serve the community. And so next slide. The rezoning, the land to be rezoned was previously zoned in error, no, but it is inconsistent with city's goals and policies. You can see in the table below that CSR, and Joey mentioned this, is very restrictive in terms of that innovation and flex, and C2. So on the left are the land uses that we might envision for the area, and C2 does allow all of them, some of them being, just a couple being conditional. Next slide. The area has changed, so this is also showing variation of aerials. It's former farmland, it was a gravel pit, the sewer treatment plant, city construction yard, and now it's cleaned up and ready to become a community serving development. And last slide, I believe, is just noting that the last 2 criteria, which, as Joey mentioned, also does not have to be met, they are not applicable to this site. And I believe that is it.
Thanks, Cheney. So I'll stay up here if there are any questions from the council.
Well, first I need to open up the public comment.
Okay.
So if anybody would like to come up and speak on ordinance 2026-06, please come up.
Mayor, Council, my name is Stan Wood, and I'm the managing member of WinPro LLC. WinPro LLC is a proud owner of about 45 acres of undeveloped land in the Greenway Business Park. So we are here today as an interested party, as this new zoning will certainly affect our property and what is developed next to our property. The success of the Two Forks venture will have a major effect on our values. So we think it's appropriate for us to address the council this evening to express our concerns. One of our concerns is that C2 zoning and the application for zoning is premature at this time. The reason that we would argue that the zoning is premature is that the proper due diligence has not been done on this property. Typically, in the development process, a developer will identify a land parcel. He will then do market studies to see what is marketably feasible on that site. For example, does it work for a Walgreens? Does it work for a apartment building, et cetera? Once they determine that market feasibility, then the developer will look at site costs, infrastructure costs, and whatever other costs that will be associated with developing that site, both infrastructure, public utilities, and on-site costs. Near as we can tell, those studies have not been done here. Once the developer decides that if it's market feasible, and they'll take the next step to quantify those costs, and then they'll make another step to decide if it's financially feasible to develop the site. If all of those questions are answered successfully, then the developer will come to City Council and ask for rezoning to allow for that use. Here it looks like we have the process inverted. We have Two Forks coming in and asking for a rezoning, yet they have not done any market studies that we're aware of to say, these are the uses that are marketably feasible on this site. Once we know what is the use is going to be, then we can quantify the tax revenues that would come from that use. We could then quantify whether or not those revenues will be sufficient to pay for any infrastructure needs. And if those revenues are not sufficient to meet infrastructure needs, then where's that money coming from? From the developer? From bonding? We simply don't know at this time how any infrastructure needs, which they identify will be, there's off-site and on-site public infrastructure needs. Well, what are those needs? What are the costs associated with those needs? And how are those needs going to be financed? We don't know that. We're simply being asked to give you zoning. Well, we don't even know if this site is viable for commercial redevelopment. So that is our biggest concern. And we'd also like to say that this is a different type of development.
You could kindly wrap up your thoughts.
Well, I'll wrap up by saying this. This is different because in this particular instance, the city is not only the governing body, the city is an owner, a partner in this process. As such, it is incumbent upon the city to do more due diligence before it should grant a rezoning application.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Stan. I thought I saw somebody else. Yes, please come on up.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Shelley DeConish. I'm an attorney. I represent WinPro LLC, the owner of property located at 1235 Greenway Drive in Fruita, which is in the Greenway Business Park and is near the property that's the subject of this application. The proposed rezone is, according to the staff report, to enable Two Forks and the city of Fruita, its partner, to develop property they own before they've done the work necessary for the PUD zoning that is ultimately expected. This is kind of an unusual thing to rezone in anticipation of future rezone. And I don't think it's a process that you would afford to just a regular private landowner. WinPro is also concerned that it shows unfair, disparate treatment to the owners in the Greenway Business Park. There's a detailed planning document for the Greenway Business Park, but development has been hampered due to the costly infrastructure requirements. A group of Greenway Business Park owners have proposed a metro district to address those. But instead of allowing those owners to present that service plan and proposal to you, city staff has stonewalled that effort, which is in stark contrast to how this project is being treated. It's likely, as Stan said, that public funds are going to be required, yet this project is being ushered through the process in a streamlined way by the city. The city's refusal to consider the Greenway property owner's proposal has been under the guise of needing to do some planning related to metro districts generally. But we don't believe this is necessary because the city council has publicly said that their concerns about that are related to residential development and not so much commercial and industrial. So we think that planning process should not hamper you being allowed to hear their proposal for the Greenway project. The WinPro is also concerned that their project is being stalled in order to allow the launch to go first. And we'd just like to say that that is not necessary. The two projects can complement each other and go forward simultaneously. The city's role, of course, isn't to pick winners and losers in land use and development, but that's what's happening here. By using public resources, tax dollars, subsidies, expedited review processes to favor Two Forks while not letting the Greenway property owners present their proposal to you. It's creating an uneven playing field and winners and losers. This also distorts the real estate market, rendering their property unusable and unmarketable while artificially inflating and making the other property more usable and valuable with public funds and public processes. And so just in short, we'd like to request that you hear their proposal as well as moving the launch forward. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that would like to come up and speak on this ordinance 2026-06? All right, hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment and bring it back to council.
Is Mary Elizabeth on?
I'm getting a nod.
I am.
All right, I was just curious.
Oh, did you have a question?
I don't have a question for her, but I would imagine that she's probably going to be helpful in this moment. At some point, I was just curious.
I just have a quick just formality. There's a comment that was brought about metro districts. I think that's probably smart to separate from this discussion and put towards the end of the meeting if we want to bring that up at that point during reports and actions, right? Is that probably the best protocol?
Yes, I agree.
I can
Related but
speak
not
to,
related.
Yes.
well,
pardon me?
I will speak to that. This ordinance and what's in front of you is a request to rezone. That is the only thing you should be talking about right now is the application that's in front of you.
But to Aaron's point, we can discuss the concerns around the metro at the end of our meeting. If council chooses
If you're inclined to do so, I just mean right now, the only thing that you're discussing in this hearing is the application.
Yes.
I just feel like we've been working on this for 4 years. We've been really transparent about what we've been doing, and this is the first I've had any pushback that I've heard of. Not that there's no right to have the pushback, but it's just interesting that we haven't heard of it in 4 years that we've been working on this very diligently, very transparent, very open, and very much in concordance with what public has been wanting usage of that area. So that's my take on it. I just feel like maybe we're a little late on this.
Thank you, James.
In the staff presentation, I was just curious. It's talking about 5 criteria. There's only 4 listed. Could you tell me what the 5th one is, or did I just not see it on there?
Well, yeah, I think I may have summarized the ones that are applicable in the staff presentation. But in the staff report, I go into greater detail about what the 5 criteria are. And since
You can talk into the microphone just to make sure.
Sorry. Okay. Since those last 2 criteria don't apply, I didn't really want to summarize them above.
Can you tell us what they are anyways, please? Thank you.
The last 2 criteria that do not apply to this application is that the amendment, the zoning map amendment, is incidental to a comprehensive revision of the city's official zoning map, which recognizes a change in conditions. So if the city were to completely get rid of their current zoning map and adopt a new one, that would be when that criteria kicks in. And then the last one is that the zoning amendment is incidental to the annexation of the subject property. This property is already located within the municipal limits of the city of Fruita, so it doesn't apply.
Perfect. Yes, I appreciate that. I just like when it says 5, but we don't see them all. Sometimes it's just helpful for public and our own
Absolutely.
knowledge. So thank you so much. And then in the Two Forks presentation where there was the little graph of what is not allowed in the current zoning, but what would be allowed in the new. We cannot read that. Could you maybe just read those to us real?
Just for clarification, that is on page 55 of our.
Okay. Okay.
So if people here also want to take a look at it, there's easy accessibility to it.
I can just look at it myself then.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Anything?
I think that we, from the very start said we wanted this to be a very flexible and creative, zone district. And I think that this follows that 4-year discussion perfectly.
So Aaron, before you jump in, I did want to have a clarification on one of the slides that when City Council did its touring, both the river float and the concert and whatever else was on that slide was not part of what City Council was doing as part of our research. Just want to make sure that there was no misunderstanding there.
Couple questions. And I'm sorry if I missed it, but the whole property is like 45 acres and we're just rezoning 20. Can you remind me why we're only doing 20 and how it's split?
Yeah, the western portion is owned by the city of Fruita still. That's the portion of the property that's going to be focused more on, and they're two separate properties now. They used to be a single property and then it was subdivided so that the eastern portion could be sold to our private developer partner. So that's that western portion that's still owned by the city of Fruita is going to be more focused on open space and recreation. The boat launch is going to be on that property. So that's why it's retaining that CSR zone district. And then the private portion is going to be more like multifamily, retail, commercial type uses.
Can we hear some commentary on timing of, there was a community comment about timing of zoning versus other aspects. Can we have just commentary as a reply?
Yeah, what other aspects, if you don't mind?
I believe it was around feasibility studies and help me out, council.
Get feasibility.
Yeah.
And that's
Some other studies,
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And the applicant may be able to speak more on like market feasibility studies. As far as what their timeline is for development, I'll be honest, I'm not sure. But to address kind of some of those market feasibility concerns, that's not one of the criteria. So
Mary
the
Elizabeth,
property being able to make revenue.
Am I correct, Mary Elizabeth? That's outside of the scope of determining the ordinance?
That's correct. Joey hit the nail on the head there. But Mary Elizabeth Geiger, city attorney. So, a rezone request rezones can happen. That's just creating a different zone district to allow for different uses on the property. If you do look at that chart on page 55, you can see there's a vast difference. The CSR allowed and conditional uses are very limited. So usually when there's a rezone, I would say typically you're not doing all those market and feasibility studies because you don't have a development plan at the time. You're just trying to create a parcel with those the options that you as the landowner would like to see to be able to later develop it. But again, feasibility, market studies, cost of infrastructure, none of that is part of the criteria that you need to consider in a zoning request. So that's outside the scope of decision making for this.
Sure.
I don't ever remember there in any rezone application that I've seen since I've been on council that's ever been part of that packet.
Yeah. And I know that some of my questions might be outside of the scope of our decision making, but I just want to make sure to bring up questions for and answers for the community as well. And that leads on to some other questions. As we've transitioned this property from a sewer lagoons to now for commercial and recreational use is what the perceived plan is going to be. Have we gone through all the steps to have that the prior operations be decommissioned and safely be utilized in these other matters.
Yeah, my understanding that's been an ongoing process that has started well before this project was even conceptualized. I actually spoke with one of our engineers in our engineering department today, and he said that they had hired someone at the time in order to decommission the lagoons, to actually go out and like clean up the area. So there definitely was some activity at the time that the sewer treatment plant was being relocated. As part of Two Forks Ventures due diligence report that they had presented to council several years ago, not several years ago, but a few years ago. There was what's called a phase 1 environmental site assessment done. And in that due diligence report, they're quoting that assessment saying that based on the data summarized in this report, Walter, who was the group that performed that assessment, recommends no additional environmental investigation for purposes of appropriate inquiry. So they're basically saying no additional investigations done. At the same time, however, in that same report, the applicant does acknowledge that further water quality and soils testing, as well as research with SCDPHE, which is the Colorado Department of Health, will be necessary to confirm the existing condition of the lagoons area.
Joey, when was that done that you're talking about?
I believe 2024, February.
That's when they signed off on it or I'm not saying that when was the due diligence report, but that you're talking about, when did they do that and recommend that we talk to the next agency?
I believe it was 2023.
That was in 2020.
The site assessment.
And that suggestion hasn't been moved forward on at all?
I don't believe any additional testing's been done since then.
If memory serves me correctly, that entire environmental study was part of packet and public record.
Yeah, it was.
That's all I had. Just want to make just a triple check. I will be bringing up any comments for Metro District later on. So I encourage any community members, if you want to hear that conversation that we'll be having amongst ourselves, that it can happen and they can listen.
Great, thank you. Todd.
Feel a little underwater on this one. There's a little joke in that one. Can't help myself. So just to get this right in my head, as we change this, or we're looking to change this from a CSR to a C2, as you say, Mary Elizabeth, we're only looking at it, but normally it's done when there's no plan in place. There's no, or Joey, there's no.
There doesn't have, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think where you're going, yeah, rezoning can happen at any time on a property. That is an owner's choice or the city requested. In this case, the owner is 879 Raptor LLC, and they are making this request now. So, it can just happen at any time that a owner wants to request a rezone.
And a lot of times applicants will come into a rezoning with some kind of vague idea. Sometimes it's more solid, sometimes it's less solid of a plan or idea of what they want to do with the property.
You knew where I was going with that. So I have a law enforcement background, so that's why I was going there with that, because my investigative mind was like, wait a minute, something didn't add up there. Yeah, so I was wondering about that because it just didn't seem like quite there. Because I'm just going to say, WinPro brings up a good point to me. Where are the feasibility studies? Like, there are a lot of infrastructure needs that are going to be, have to be met, and the cost of that, and where's the cost going to come from? Who's going to pay for that? And I
think Mary Elizabeth.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, so I know we're just looking at the rezone. So go ahead. Correct.
It's not normally
slap me down.
And it is not, counselor, is not to slap you down at all. But that sort of, study, due diligence, whatever you want to call it, usually is, again, not something that the city gets involved in. That is for a property owner to do on their own to decide if a property is going to be usable for their project. But again, I'll just say, you know, this is a quasi judicial hearing on an application for a rezone. So the only criteria to be considered at this time are those for a rezone. And while I am speaking, Mayor, I would ask that you allow the applicant to provide any rebuttal to public comment if they have any or would like to do so.
All right, I will do. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from council at this point in time?
I'm good now.
No.
Gavin, any comments?
Mr.
We've
Mayor,
already closed public participation, but thank you.
I move to adopt ordinance 2026-06, amending the official zoning map of the city of Fruita by zoning approximately 20.3 acres of property located at parcel number 2697-184-24-001 from a community services and recreation zone to a commercial 2 zone.
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any additional questions or comments? Except for I want to reiterate that you will be talking about this a little bit more in council reports and action items at the end of the meeting. Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Not with the rezone.
Just to clarify, when you just said that, Mayor, you will not be talking about the rezone any further.
No, that is correct.
No.
It was some other questions or comments that may have been made during
Correct.
public comment or any additional information council would like to discuss outside of the actual rezone.
Right. Because this is your action on the rezone.
Once it's
and that
passed, it's
matter will be
passed.
closed.
Yep. Got it. Deb?
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
Counselor Kumro,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Purser.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Right. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for all that participated. We're going to move on to our administrative agenda, which is a presentation from city staff on ongoing capital improvement projects. And John, is he here?
Ciara is actually going to
Okay.
go first.
Ciara is going to present, or at least kick this off.
You're a busy girl tonight.
Yes, bring all the hats.
Oh, I get to talk with you guys 3 times.
There's John.
Yes. Awesome. All right, let me get set up here. Yes, Mayor, members of City Council, Ciara Amen, Interim Parks and Recreation Director. And yes, I get to kick off the night talking about our capital projects for 2026. Let's see if I can. There we go. So the purpose of this presentation is to provide an update to City Council and to the public on the status of current and future projects, and to kick off planning for the upcoming budget cycle and what could be expected for capital projects proposed in that 2027 budget. And so some overall themes that you'll see as we all go through the presentation is completing some of our prior projects, planning and preparing for projects for potential grant applications, and then also preventative maintenance and focusing on key core services like traffic and circulation and pedestrian safety. All right. So I'll be talking about things going on in Parks and Recreation this year. So first off, I want to kick it off with the community garden. So this was a project that was reappropriated from 2025, and we're getting it done this year. So, over the years, we've heard from the community that a community garden would be very beneficial here in Fruita. And so we also recognize that we could take this opportunity to create the gardens where staff could use it as a learning opportunity and program out of it as well. So one was constructed at the community center. And so, like I said, the overall goal is to really support local food growth and community engagement. And the garden will be volunteer-led. And the construction budget for this project is $72,000. And like I said, it was reappropriated. And the garden is located on the south side of the building. So in the back by the meeting rooms, just right outside those doors, kind of where the field is, where Easter egg scramble and soccer games happen. And so that area was kind of underutilized, and Staff saw this as an opportunity to reactivate this space. And so, yeah, we're opening it next Friday, May 15th, and you're all invited to join us. But you'll see that the space was designed with accessibility in mind. So the gardens are accessible for everyone to use. And, the whole goal is to get the community involved and really take pride and ownership over these gardens. And so we're also kind of activating the space as well, working with a local artist, Giselle Genova, on creating a mural on the pump house next to the garden. So that'll be a fun addition. So yes, next Friday, May 15th, 10 a.m. to 12, come hang out and plant some veggies and flowers. All right, let's see. Next on the list, all of these projects are mostly at the community center. So next on the list is ADA parking spaces at the center. So we have $15,000 budgeted to construct 2 new ADA parking spots right in the front of the center. Do you have a question?
No, I was
Okay.
directionally
You're
challenged.
thinking.
I was going northwest trying to.
Okay, perfect. Of course, we recognize that we need more accessible parking, especially for vans. So the goal is to not take away from other parking spots, but taking out some of the landscaping in the front, right next to the half circle right there. So taking out some of that landscaping to add those 2 spots, and then we'll have also a cement walkway as well to those. Let's see. All right, next up is the bathroom. So let's see. We have $100,000 budgeted for this year to construct a bathroom on the 2nd floor of the community center. And, the whole goal of this is to just provide extra resources to patrons as they're using the facility. We've received multiple requests from patrons to add that additional bathroom up there. There's only, there's the locker rooms downstairs. So it's kind of a long ways to get down there. So we wanted to create this as well. So it'll be a single stall restroom. We're going through the bid process right now. So we'll have more information and have more information on that moving forward. But it will be, what we're thinking is a single stall upstairs, kind of behind the treadmills if you're there. In the studio room, there's a closet area, so it'll take up some of that closet space instead of taking away from the workout areas up there. And then our whole goal is to, we're going to do our best with construction. It might be, construction is going to be going on as the center's open, but we hope to time it a little bit with our maintenance week in September. So more to come on that. Another project that we're doing is resurfacing the indoor pool. So we have $50,000 budgeted to resurface some of the tile in the indoor pool. And staff's working on finding a few different solutions to this. It's pretty expensive to do resurfacing the indoor tile. So we are looking at a few different processes, including one that's called the Miracle Method, which is a refinishing process. So instead of demolition and replacing the whole tile system, it kind of grinds it down, and then we would go in and make sure all the tile is still good, and if any tile that needs to be replaced, we'd obviously replace it, but then put kind of a coating over it, and then maintain that throughout the year so it would last longer. Another one, this is not at the community center, is the Little Salt Wash redesign. So we have $125,000 to complete a comprehensive plan to guide future park improvements and expansions at Little Salt Wash Park. Preliminary plans were set forth in the Frost Plan, so the park's health, recreation, and open space master plan. And this plan will go deeper into these needs of this park specifically and provide a redesign to help provide the most current needs for the community. And some of the improvements we'll look into is how to relieve overcrowding, how we can diversify recreation opportunities even more. Maintenance is a big one, so including the irrigation system, and how all of this can help serve the community, for another 30 to 40 years and be that, one of the main parks here in Fruita. And then a few other things going on at the community center are kind of just some upgrades throughout the facility. So we do have $25,000 budgeted this year to update some of the lockers. So if you're using a locker, a patron would have to either borrow a lock from the front desk or bring their own. And so now we're going to be installing 75 locks, digital locks throughout the community just to help with that ease and help with security as well. So yes, I think that's all I have for Parks and Recreation. So we can either take questions now on that stuff or I'll hand it over and
Any questions on
Okay.
rec center items?
nothing.
Super excited about the community gardens.
Yes, it'll be so fun.
Fantastic. Not a question, but just a comment. Although I do have a question because a good portion of the community is not available from 10 to noon, maybe on a Friday. Is there another time is there another celebration time or just the idea is just come out when you can? Like what?
Yeah, I think we can look into doing another type of celebration, but we do have information out there for if you're interested in volunteering, long term. We would love to get in touch with community members to get them involved. And we have kind of a group and interested members already, but if you want to be a part of that, definitely reach out and we can get you involved and more connected. Perfect.
Any other questions on any of the rec center items?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, John Carrillo, Public Works Director. Just going to kind of continue on from Ciara with capital projects for the Public Works Department that we have going on this year. Kind of started off, we did complete the ADA compliant door on the north side of the Civic Center this year. That did go under contract last year, kind of just continued through budget transfer into 2026. That project total just came in right under 50,000 for the design and the installation for that. The old door didn't meet the ADA compliance along with the new ramp and railing that was installed. And so following, the ADA standards, this door allowed for new controls, electronics, all automated, an improved threshold, and continues to support, our ADA accessibility and our commitment to this building. At the wastewater treatment plant, kind of reported on this last year a little bit. So we are in progress of the UV redundancy project. The UV redundancy, UV treatment is the last part of treatment to disinfect all of the effluent before it meets the river. Right now, we have one bank of light that does all of that disinfection. This project will install a secondary bank in series so that we're allowed to do maintenance, or if there's an emergency, we can continue our disinfection. Right now, we are sitting at 60% design. We have about $108,000 right now in total engineering cost. The construction budget that's been approved for that is $725,000. We should have about 90% design May 22nd, a guaranteed maximum price early June, and hoping to have construction late August and completion of October. So fingers crossed, we're hoping to get this one going. Sidewalk replacement program. The sidewalk improvement program is an annual capital project designed to enhance the pedestrian safety and accessibility throughout the city. Typically using an 80-20 cost sharing program where the city covers 80% while the adjacent property owner contributes 20%. In 2026, the program was doubled from 100,000 to 200,000. We've had really great success with this. It's kind of allowed us to do just not sidewalk improvement, but also pedestrian improvement, safety actions. I think John will get into a little bit more of that when we get into the Maple Street project. But, some crosswalk improvements throughout our parks, just all over. Pretty good program.
Hey, John, tell me that picture is not like that currently, right? We fixed it? Okay.
It is not.
All right.
In a part of the,
I don't think that's us. Yeah.
Is that a stock photo?
Yeah, stock photo, right?
no, I won't tell you where it is anyway, no.
Okay.
So for pedestrian or citizens to sign up, all of the information for the 80/20 program is on the city's website where they can request and we can evaluate and help out. Overlays, the next two slides are going to be tied hand in hand with overlays and chip seal. So again, this is kind of just an annual program that we evaluate all of our roads based off of PCI, which we did in 2023 through the roadway assessment. So every year we're continuously evaluating the PCI scores, making sure that road inspections with that calculated score fall into the alignment of recommended strategies for overlays or chip seal. This year, it'll be aligned a lot with our South Maple Sewer Project. We've kind of combined the sewer project along with overlays, some pedestrian improvements, drainage, kind of as one whole project. This year's approved budget was $560,000. And it's under contract right now. We'll have pre-construction meetings tomorrow and kind of get a start date, but projects as of now, hopefully towards the end of September, have that accomplished. So kind of the same thing with chip seal. We refer back to the PCI. We're updating that information all over. Hopefully we can add some life to some streets before they fall into that index where they need to be overlaid or rebuilt completely. We'll go through multiple streets throughout Fruita. We'll have the Plum Street.
Yeah, will you say what PCI is?
Sure, it's a pavement condition index. And so it's kind of a national standard that rates streets from 0 to 100, with 100 being a perfect road, 0 being terrible. Typically you want chip seal to be 50 to 60 or 60 to 70. Overlays are going to be in that 50 to 60 and try to get those back up into the 80s and 90s at that point. So we'll be chip sealing sections of Plum Street, Peach Street, Elm, Apple, Ash, Sycamore, and we're planning on a double chip on the road going into Snook's Bottom. Kind of helps eliminate some of the maintenance issues, but also that road's used quite a bit. So, we are currently under contract and we're looking to start the first week of June. Typically takes about 3 weeks. Sometimes you might see 4 depending on the weather.
How do we communicate with the community when we're doing these overlays and chip seal?
So notification will go to every homeowner that's affected, whether it's door hanger, between project manager, public works itself, and the contractor, it's required to give notification. And then typically we do communicate with CR to get it blasted out on social.
Is there any signage that says
can you speak into the microphone?
Is there any signage that says like coming up, you'll see those like June 12th through 14th detour, you know what I mean? So people can be aware that it's going to be happening if any of the roads are going to be down for two or more days or whatever.
We don't have anything built into the contract, but that's something definitely we can look into, whether it's renting variable message boards.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful, especially if it's going to be coming up and it's going to be a long period, just so people are aware.
Then the most exciting one is the street striping. So it is out to bid right now. Bid opening will be May 7th. We have $58,050 budgeted for it this year. Annual thing, it's about 85 lane miles and divide markers that get painted every year. Nothing overly exciting about this one though. Yeah.
It was that much.
Every year it's growing. And as of right now, we're still doing a design review with SGM for reservoir number 2 for the breach. SGM is helping with the engineering and permitting and design for safely removing the reservoir number 2. The goal is to permanently drain the reservoir and eliminate the safety risks that comes posed with that. It was on a no-fill order in 2016. Most of what they're working through right now, they're continuing with permitting through the federal, state, local levels. Most of the design work's pretty close to being done. They're still working on some hydraulic graphing. There has been approval for some habitat and wetlands, a part of the decommission of the reservoir. Once we kind of get through this, the current estimated engineering costs are right about 2 million right now for the construction of that. We should have some better numbers once we get that 90, 100% of.
Were we successful in getting some grant funding for any of this?
So in January of 2025, we were opened up to negotiation of funds with the Bureau of Reclamation for 2.8 million. Those funds were put on hold. There has been some communication back and forth with the Bureau of Reclamation. There was the government shutdown. The last update I received was towards the end of March, and those funds are still on hold. I just recently have started looking at some other grant possibilities, but that was a pretty large one. So kind of just scratching the surface on possible other funding.
Okay.
That's all you've got. Don't run away yet. Don't run away yet.
Okay.
Question on the UV redundancy. Will that be sufficient? So once the second pond, I can't remember what it's called, is up in use, or will we have to add additional UV when we open up that second tank?
We will not.
Okay.
So the current bank that is installed is fully designed to handle the full current load of 2.3 million gallons a day. The second is just a sheer redundancy issue.
Okay. Right. Good information. And then just out of curiosity, I did look under the city department's public works, there is a tab for sidewalk replacement program. So with additional information there, which is great. So thank you. That's all I had. Anybody have anything else before he sits down?
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm the other John Bolden, city engineer. So these are the projects that the projects in my list are the ones that we're managing through engineering. Some of them we coordinate very, very closely with Public Works. And so I made my list first, so I stole a little bit of John Carlos thunder on this. I'm just starting with South Mesa. It's the biggest pain right now for the citizens of Fruita, and the end is absolutely in sight. I don't know if you can see in the smaller picture, Brandy's actually leaning out the door and giving us a peace sign. This was about 3 hours ago. Over there to get some pictures. We were hoping to get it open in front of her business today. It'll be 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, just because paint dries slowly. And once it's dry, we'll get it open to her. Still getting a good handle on where we are budget-wise, and I will give you guys an update on that. But right now, there's just a lot of moving pieces, and we're realizing savings in some areas, and some areas are going over. So I will keep you in the loop on that. Maple Street Bridge, I think most of you are familiar with this. It's a functionally obsolete bridge, which is the bridge engineer's way of saying this bridge doesn't work the way we want it to work. Perfectly safe bridge structurally, but it's too narrow. The sidewalks are only about 2 feet wide. There was a death there about 10 years ago when somebody missed the bridge to the right in this picture here. The design is complete. Right-of-way plans were complete. During our negotiation process, we have to go back to CDOT to make a few changes to address some citizens' concerns. And as soon as those are done, I don't anticipate any issues on that. I hope it starts this fall. Just depends on how long CDOT will take to get through it, but we're hoping to get it out to bid here soon. we're in really good shape funding wise. It was budgeted about 5 years ago. That wasn't enough funds. Katie helped us. We went out for more grant funding and received another $2 million. So at this point, I think we're in real solid shape. Maple Street. This is a hodgepodge of different projects that John's already got into. One of the things I think I've addressed, I think John's addressed, but I might not remember correctly, is we've got a lot of streets that we need to overlay, but to be responsible users of taxpayers' funds, we don't want to overlay them when we know the pipes under the streets are not in good shape. We actually spent a long time this year working with John, just finding projects to do because we're getting kind of locked up with what's under the streets. This project, one of the other things that's important to me is putting in a sewer line is absolutely the longest process of anything we can do in front of somebody's house. And the last thing I want to do is do this project and then have a street that looks the same and there isn't any meaningful improvements. So we got together last fall and midwinter and we redesigned it to where we're doing a bunch of sidewalk improvements at the same time. We're fixing the parking lots on both ends of the park and then overlaying every street that we're touching. We got excellent bids on this. We was under budget. Like John said, we are getting with the contractor tomorrow for a pre-construction meeting. And at that point, I'm expecting a schedule from them and we can start putting that information out there. This will probably be the best communicated project because Ammon Pierce lives right in the middle of this project. And so he is going to be leaning on us for updates very regularly. So at no point are people not going to have access to their property, but they are going to be annoyed. And so that is something we're going to do our best to minimize and push on the contractor to do that efficiently. Fremont Street, you can see the problem in this picture. There isn't a street. And so this is one that that the city had designed by a consultant 3 years ago using grant funding. That design is a road from somewhere to nowhere. And so to make it a project that I want to take to you guys to build, I want it to be a road from somewhere to somewhere. And there's two ways to do that. One is to count on Skiff Drive getting completed. I don't have any control over that. So the second way is for us to design the northern end of this project and put together something that can be put out to bid. It's going to be two separate projects when we do bring it to you. And it's absolutely a project that I think we can get grant funding for. Currently where our design is, we're adding a bunch of parking along that practice field. It's not helping me at this point, but when my kids were practicing there, it was very frustrating. And I think that it's not an uncommon thing. So it'll also alleviate a lot of the traffic issues around the two schools. It'll allow us to develop a full clockwise pattern for traffic. And once this is in place, I want our on-call engineer to help us come up with a better plan for that whole area because it's not working right now. It's not something that's raised to the level of we need to do it next year, but it's not great. Currently, we've got our design put together good enough that we can rough in the right-of-way needs because we already have budget to acquire that right-of-way. And so we want to use it and get way ahead of that so that once we do have funding, we don't have to wait. It makes it much easier to get grants when we can say, hey, we're ready to go. Give us the money. We can pull the trigger on it. This is a dream of mine that's also been in many of the circulation plans, comprehensive plans. It's something that I think we can transform the eastern entrance to Fruita. We can put something in here that could really look nice. pedestrian bridges can really accent the entrance to a city. And besides that, we could probably help save some lives with people that are currently playing Frogger out there. It does cross CDOT, and it also crosses the Union Pacific Railroad.
Historically easy.
And it also goes under an Excel high tension power line. So I'm putting this out there so you know about it. We're going to keep pushing towards it. Right now, we're using the survey equipment that you got us. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's really helping. We were able to purchase it in March, and we're starting to get in a detailed design, and we're starting to coordinate with these agencies. This is also a project that I think would be very easy to get grant funding for. And there are grant funds that we can stack on top of grants, on top of grants, on top of grants. So I'm in a little bit of a competition with my counterpart in Grand Junction. He matched local funds to grant funds 13-1. I want to try to improve upon that a little bit, just for my own personal ego.
We're designing this one in-house.
We're designing this one in-house. Yeah, that's absolutely in our wheelhouse. Chris Damel is a amazing designer. I'll do the bridge stuff. The design's going to be easy. The public outreach will have to start once we've got a really good layout in place, because there's a lot of different ways we can make this look. I envision Thursday night, setting up booths, doing different things, maybe some outreach through social media, and just kind of figure out what we want to make it look like. Because cost-wise, it's not going to matter it's not going to make that big a difference to make it a nicer looking structure. But it could really, keep Fruita funky. Any other questions on that one?
I am so excited about this one. This was my day one when I got on council. This was
Yeah, there's a lot to that because of us being the entrance to the entire state off 70. I think I'm happy that you're wrapping your head around the importance of this is a greeting point. It really could help put Fruita on the map.
I think it's something that we could make kind of a linear version of the tower. It's just something else that, somehow incorporate something Fruita.
Sure.
I think it touches on a lot of our goals because the connectivity to, the South Side is so disconnected. And this would really, I think, do a lot to bridge that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like it's long overdue, and I understand why it's long overdue. It's just, I want to do it.
We were waiting for you to come along and do it.
Yeah. So this is one that you guys brought up last late summer, mid-fall. I don't remember exactly when, but these two, after looking around, just to refresh your memory, we meet the ADA requirements for number of handicap spots, but they're not well distributed, and it doesn't really do a whole lot of good if we've got a lot of spots too far away to use. So this was a spot we identified as being centrally located. It would do the most good the quickest. It's also a spot that's bothered me from a traffic and pedestrian safety. The closer spot in this picture, any vehicle that's bigger than a smart car obscures pedestrian traffic or pedestrians that are trying to cross the street from traffic. And so by making this a parallel van accessible spot, we solve a bunch of different problems. And so that's something that is the next thing for the new survey equipment you gave us to do, is to survey this and start that design. This is the North Mesa Street Bridge, just north of Shelity. It's a great bridge. Structurally, it's in excellent shape, and it's a bridge that I believe we could widen fairly efficiently and keep this from being a spot where I watch people trying to push strollers across it and getting frustrated and just walking down the lane. And we could do a lot of good for connectivity It's solves some safety issues and it's a bridge, so I want to do it.
Is this one where like Maple Street is a full reconstruction of that bridge where this is just expanding it to make it wider?
Correct.
That's great.
Yeah, so we would just make it wider. The street approaching it from both sides is wide enough. All we got to do is make the bridge match the street. So, and the nice thing with it is most bridge projects, we can't keep the streets open while we're doing them. This one we could keep access through there. So it'll be one of my less annoying projects for the people that live nearby. This intersection at the northeast corner of City Market, I can't explain why it doesn't injure or kill more people. This picture I took yesterday, and I wish I was better at reacting to things. The gentleman in the black that's walking towards me, right after I took this picture, he got to this corner and started to head across the other crosswalk. That car you can see in the turning lane didn't know he was going to do that. Made half of a turn and hit the brakes, and then a car coming eastbound also hit their brakes, and I just stood there with my camera. Instead of clicking pictures, I just went. I could have made a lot more compelling picture here.
I think we're all well aware.
But anyway, this is something that once we get our on-call engineering contract back in place, I'm going to do a full traffic study there, or have the consultant do a full traffic study. I do think this is one we're going to get a lot of community input on. Intuitively, I think we're going to have to limit some traffic movements here to make it a safer intersection. There's going to be people that probably will not agree with me on that. And so I think it's going to be something that we're going to have to document very well. And depending on what the actual project is, it might be a good one to extend into the circle and increase the aesthetic value of that entrance into our downtown area. This is the Ugly Alley project. This alley in particular, it has a lot of problems. It's the one that goes off of the southeast corner of the circle. Besides just being not the best looking alley, it's got significant drainage issues, but more importantly, it's got significant safety issues. About half the cars that come out of this alley, because right now it's signed for north only, don't go out through the curb cut. They drive down the sidewalk and then get into the circle, which creates obvious issues for pedestrians that are using that area. And I can't really blame the cars, because when you're sitting in there, it's not apparent that you need to make a really sharp left turn to get out of there. That turn also, if I owned that building, would make me very nervous having people do that all the time. There are marks on the building. I'm surprised it doesn't get hit more. So this is another one we're going to design in-house. It's one we tried to design 2 years ago, and the equipment we had would not work in this alley. So the new equipment you got, thank you. Thank you again. It's going to make that a lot easier. I try to be appreciative so that we can get more gadgets.
He appreciates.
It's a worthy investment.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already, just doing this alley, we got quotes to have somebody else survey it for us, and it was going to be close to $10,000. That equipment was 50. This project will pay for a fifth of that expenditure. Plus it makes our jobs easier. Done.
Thank you, Thad. Bring it back to council. Any questions or comments on two?
Yeah, great work.
Presented and thorough. I appreciate it very much.
Okay. Well,
A lot of projects that we've have had on our list for years.
Yeah, the pedestrian bridge.
All of them. I mean, most of those that you listed have been on the whole time I've been on council. We've had them so that's really exciting.
and we've had a backlog of projects that haven't got off the launch pad as far as spending money, Maple Street Bridge, South Mesa Street. And so this year we've kind of focused on let's clean these up, let's get them out, let's administer that money. And in the meantime, get a bunch of designs on the shelf so that we can come to you with actual good budgetary estimates instead of, well, we're guessing it's this much per foot, but we don't know exactly what the design's going to look like. So I'm hoping to do a better job of informing you of what projects will cost, and then you can decide which ones align with the council's values.
I really appreciate you guys going after grants at the state and federal level just to help stretch our own tax dollars to go further, because all these construction projects, nothing's cheap. When you're looking at $100,000 bathroom, it's like, really? Or $50,000 door downstairs.
Yeah.
It's nice that you guys are trying to go get things covered.
And
have our money, our personal community money
and that I help fill out sections of it, but Katie is really the person that she learns all the behind the scenes stuff. She puts it together. She talks to the grant people, and she sets us up for success. So
I would say, John, when you're doing these presentations moving forward and you're showing those numbers and grants are included, it's always good to throw out that we have that coming in, especially, I mean, because we might have that conversation amongst ourselves when we're moving forward, but it's always nice when we're getting a presentation, because those numbers are really scary. But then all of a sudden, when you hear that we got 2 million from the government for something, it's nice to hear that. So I'll try to include that.
Yeah, thank you. That's good
It's always
feedback.
good.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Great job.
Before we move on to the next section in terms of taking a break, how are we all doing? Okay.
Take a 5 minute.
So why don't we do take a 10? Can you wait until after council reports are action?
Yeah, that's a better point.
All right, so then we will go through all the way through council reports and action items. We'll take a 10-minute break before we jump into executive session. So with that, Shannon, city manager's report.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. Very quick city manager's report tonight, just 2 items for you. So tomorrow night, we do have the special meeting at the Fruita Community Center to evaluate the final 3 proposals for the artwork for the Fruita Co-op Towers. So that's scheduled for 5:30 in the back meeting room. So it'll probably be pretty similar to what we did last time, but you'll see kind of the final 3 initial renderings and be able to rate and score each of those. And from there, our finance staff will collect all of those ratings, tally them up, and share that information with staff and with council. And then from there, we'll start engaging with the artists who received the best ratings on their conceptual plans and start on that process, and also what the community engagement piece will look like. So tomorrow at 5:30, Sarah will be there. I have a conflict. I wasn't quite sure if CDOT was going to get back to us in time, but they were very, very quick. So thank you, CR, for getting back. But already got to take a look, and very excited for council and the Arts and Culture Board and our tourism board to take a look at that as well. And then finally, we do have a request from our local American Legion post for someone to attend Memorial Day ceremony in Elmwood Cemetery on Monday, May 25th. So I was just
Todd, I'm
perfect.
I thought I sent that out. Todd was going to go. Does
Okay.
anybody else want to go or able to go?
I go help stuff. I make it. So I was glad to see that Todd can.
Okay.
Great. So we will let them know and make sure to get that on the calendar as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great. You're still up with changes to certain upcoming city council meetings.
Yeah, so as we discussed last week at our workshop, this time of year, May, June, and July, we tend to run into some conflicts due to holidays like Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and then also the CML conference, which we generally have a pretty large group of city council members attend each year. So we discussed making changes to 4 meetings that are workshops. So this is the official agenda item for council to consider those changes. So going over them very briefly, Tuesday, May 26th, our workshop, council has requested that be canceled due to Memorial Day. On Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, staff recommended that due to our liability insurance company's general counsel, Sam Light from CIRSA. He will be in town for training with all staff that Wednesday, but we also want to invite him to do a joint training with the City Council and the Planning Commission. So we're recommending moving that meeting to a workshop on the same date at 6:30 on Tuesday, June 2nd. CML, the CML conference this year, which we have 5 members attending, which I'm very excited about and look forward to. Starts on a Monday, which is odd. It usually starts on a Tuesday, so we usually reschedule our meeting for the Monday night. But since a majority of us will be in Westminster, we're recommending rescheduling the City Council workshop that was originally scheduled for June 23rd to June 30th, which is a 5th Tuesday. And then finally, with new council being elected and coming on board, we have a strategic planning meeting, and we settled on July 20th, 2026 for that strategic planning meeting, if my notes are correct. So recommend those following changes as outlined in the cover sheet.
Any concerns on those?
Nope.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, I move to cancel the Tuesday, May 28th, 2026 City Council Workshop Meeting, cancel the June 2nd, 2026 regular meeting, and schedule a special workshop on June 2nd, 2026. Reschedule the Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 City Council Workshop Meeting to Tuesday, June 30th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. and add a special workshop on July 20th, 2026. Whew.
Second.
All right. First and second, any questions or concerns?
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
Counselor Kumro,
Yes.
Counselor Williams, Counselor Persher, Counselor Parrish.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you very much. And with that, we're going to move on to council reports and action items. Who would like to go first?
I think James should go first.
Yeah.
Go last.
Okay.
Amy?
I can go first. Historic Preservation Board is very busy. The big topic of this meeting was about the structure of the Lower Valley History Room and how that is going to be shifting and evolving. We had a co-meeting with all of the folks from that, which was really fun to have. All of those people at the same table was really neat. A lot of history at one table. So stay tuned on that. I'm sure that we'll be hearing more from both entities. And then I also attended my first GRVTC meeting. I didn't realize I was going to be sitting up there. Rich so kindly ushered me in and then left. It was fine. So that was interesting. The big news there for Fruita was Highway 340 resurfacing will continue up to the bridge. They'll also be doing some bridge rehab, so that they're hoping will be concluded by July, but will continue to have some traffic impacts for us. And then the resurfacing of 6 and 50 from our overpass to, I think they said 22 Road, like the Diamond Interchange. So the big gnarly section that everyone has issues with is planned to start in August. So
So will it
that's
be
long awaited.
usable for a long time?
It's going to be a big,
Sure.
it's going to be a big impact.
Are they widening it or anything? Or are they just
Didn't say anything about that. They just
What are they
said
doing?
resurfacing.
resurfacing?
So that they'll be milling, and it's going to be very impactful for traffic. So that kind of stinks, but it's a long time coming.
Did they, back on your prior item about the bridge on 340, did they give any details on what they're going to do to it? Because that looks like that's been beat to crap.
They just said bridge rehab will be
nice to see.
taking place. So yeah. I was just excited to hear about both of those, and that was from CDOT. So that's good. That's
Right.
That's
Thank
it. Yeah.
Aaron?
Last night we had a Parks and Rec Commission meeting, and we had our lovely Shannon show up and do some board training. And were we the first board?
Yeah.
Second?
Arts and culture is free.
It was great to have him come out and, you know, a lot of folks, it's new process, or it's new to understand why we do certain things or why we don't do certain things. So I thought that was great to have that done. And it was a good time just because we have a new leadership within the board. A couple questions. Can we get a little bit more some commentary about the shelter in place? I think Mary Elizabeth, you have some potential comments that you can help with that item.
As related to like the rec center?
Yes.
Why
Community center?
Yeah.
I actually, I don't have specific comments. Shannon's the one that has the information in Ciara, not me. So I would direct any questions to them. If there's any legal question I can answer, but I would suggest that if you are looking for legal advice, that you call an executive session on that.
Just Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I was able to kind of describe this earlier too. So there was some comments during the shelter in place that was issued about on Sunday afternoon. Was it 3:30 p.m. Ish? So there was an incident where a local resident shot into a vehicle over by the old Fruita Middle School. I think the cross streets were Columbine and Ash, or just west of that. So that prompted, a response from our Fruita Police Department and SWAT as well. So Ciara, as our communications and engagement director, working with our police lieutenant and the Mason County Sheriff's Office, issued that shelter in place at the community center, which was in the radius. The radius was actually quite large for the shelter in place. It was about a mile long. They got that, and there were comments that people were asked to leave, and that is correct. We looked into that in the first kind of initial minutes from that. That did happen. People were asked to evacuate as they learned more information on the shelter in place, that it was an incident not so close to the community center. They were actually encouraged to shelter in place, and they said you could come back to the pool or the boiler room. The patrons that were there, the patrons that were outside, were asked if they wanted to come back into the facility as well. So it was a mistake. We will continue to do training on our emergency operations and procedures. We do it once a year, but we'll always use opportunities like this to try to learn something. But initially, when they first learned about it, the correct steps were not taken. So we apologize about that. Of course.
Same topic. Are you?
I'm done with that
anything else?
topic. So if you want to stay on it.
Okay. In general, maybe there is something that can be shared about what an expectation is when, say, your business is part of a shelter in place or things like that. Not that the city doesn't have any control of that, obviously, but just like, maybe a coordination with the PD about when you hear this is the protocol to follow. Those of us who work in schools or have had kids in schools and things like that are far more familiar with what that actually looks like. But there may be people who don't really understand what that entails. And, if you have a business that operates inside and outside and you're in a area that you're in danger and it's called and you're all staying there, but you're not bringing people inside, those people may be in danger, still various things like that. It definitely feels like there was lessons that could be learned, not just from the city side, but public in general. And I think luckily we don't run into this kind of thing very often, but I do think it has provided an opportunity to share more information about what that actually should look like.
Absolutely.
Might be a good frequently asked question. Maybe not so frequently asked, but
Is it
yeah.
an opportunity for education?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Is there a place where, you get the text, you get the phone call, all of that, where you can direct people for more information?
It might not fall into like frequently asked questions, but since it's fresh, you could almost do a write-up and then send it out as a link that just didn't like
Collaborate
that
with
looks like, yeah.
I think
But I do think the general takeaway, there are lessons to be learned, and so we can improve next time.
Absolutely.
And luckily, no one came away hurt or injured from that.
thankfully.
Just two more items. One is talking about workshops and can we have what's the purpose of having workshops? What's required for workshops? What's policies, procedures around workshops, and how they're different from public meetings like this is tonight?
Oh, sure. Just in
Do you
general.
want me to answer that, Shannon?
Sure. Yeah.
So you can't make any decisions at a workshop. You can't vote. You can direct staff to, if you're looking at you want to pursue them looking at a policy or pursue staff, investigating something else that you have questions about, but you can't make any motions and take any official actions at a workshop. So because of that, since you all are still getting together, there is the 24-hour notice. I would say, and there is no requirement to broadcast, just to back up for a second, there isn't a requirement to broadcast any meetings. I mean, the official record or the minutes thereof. However, it is very typical now, due to the technology that we have, to broadcast meetings. Obviously, the city does that for city council meetings, so people can tune in if they can't be present. It is entirely up to you if you want to start doing that for workshops, but there is no requirement to do so. The minutes are the official record thereof. So that's really the main, difference between the two. Is workshops are informal, there are no hearings scheduled for that. There is no, official action taken. If, like in the past, we've had maybe a special meeting before a workshop because it was necessary to be able to take action. And that, of course, was noticed as a meeting so that the public would understand that decisions could be made in that portion. So does that help answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. And I think a good example is like last week we talked about, it's a simple matter, but scheduling. We looked at dates and then because that's not a decision-making meeting, we brought it forth to tonight and we made
Absolutely.
a decision and voted in it. So that's a good example. It's like
that's a great
there's
example.
nothing that happens at workshops that never go through public hearing meetings and go through official processes there. The last one.
Actually, and on that, as I look at workshops, they're not structured meetings. These are very structured in terms of how we can communicate. Workshops are also designed to where we can bounce ideas off of each other. Sometimes they might be good ideas. Sometimes they may not be such a good idea, but it's kind of that environment where it's okay to have those discussions, knowing that no decisions will be made. It gives time and people to kind of think about what's being discussed.
The last item I had was just wanted to talk a little bit about metro districts. I know that this body, we've talked about what we want to do and what we don't want to do. And staff and Mary Elizabeth, correct me if I or add to what I was going to say, but the metro districts, we did have an application come before us. We chose not to continue with that process because we have never talked about metro districts or any type of those districts that can happen in our community. And
Councilor Hansey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but in council reports and actions, you can't discuss a particular property or, application. If you want to talk about metro generally, that's fine.
The concern was in terms of we don't have a policy, we don't have an ideology of when to use not just metro districts, but special districts.
Yeah.
So it was part of a larger conversation that's going to continue. And, for us as a council, my perception is it's a big kind of thing for us to get our arms wrapped around. We want to make sure we have that overarching policy in place before we set precedent. And we have to deal with it in terms of business improvement, commercial, metro, whatever type of district it is. We want to have that kind of all in place and organize so we can clearly communicate what we're looking for out of any special district before we start to really consider.
Well, and I think it's not to take over, Aaron, but I also think that it's worth noting that there was a lot of effort put into education with that. And we brought in literally and had a workshop from an outside agency come in and teach us about metro districts and what they're for, so that we could move forward with making policy. And we're in the process of still doing that right now. So
that was even as of
absolutely
last.
Yeah, it was very
Wednesday,
recent.
We were talking about metro districts and that.
Yep.
And I think just add to what you were saying too, Mayor, is we're trying to establish what, as representatives of our community, how we want to manage those processes as they come to us, what we want to encourage, what we want to emphasize more or than others. So what's good for the long term. So I'm grateful that we have gone through the process that we have, and that we are moving on that. It's not stalled out. It's not stopped. It's still continuing, and that we will have something in the future, in the near future. I don't know what exactly near means, if it's months or not, but it's not 10 years down the road type of a thing. We're actively looking at what policies we want to have within our community that can best serve them.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Todd.
Hey. Attended my first tourism advisory council. That was fun. And Shannon stole my thunder with tomorrow night's gathering. So I'm looking forward to that. And then there was a whole lot of other things that I left my notes at home. So, but very active, super active council. And that's going to be a lot of fun to be on. The other thing that happened today, I was invited to, and I was on the roundtable discussion. The secretary of the VA came, and I got a chance to sit there and represent the veterans of our community and bring concerns.
Higher than I thought percentage of veterans in Fruita.
Right. I think we have known veterans, 1,076, known veteran operated businesses, 105. So we have a
national average.
Yeah, it's a good percentage, and so I was able to represent that. Met the secretary, Senator Hurd was there with his office, and then Senator that Congressman Hurd was there, and then representatives from other offices were there as well. So,
how do they say our VA hospital and our system here?
We're a 5-star.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're a 5-star hospital. So they're doing really well. There's a lot of, I have a lot of notes from that one. And it was a very good meeting. I was honored to represent.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. I'll start off as we go down this way. Tomorrow night, Fruita before the other meeting, the Fruita Chamber is doing a root beer float for their members. I don't know if we'll be wearing aprons again, but please come by and enjoy a root beer float. And then June 30th, hopefully you saw the announcement. There is the State of the Community breakfast being held. I know, Shannon, you sent out an email for those who wish to attend. There's that.
I apologize. I RSVP'd before I saw your email, so I'm already RSVP'd.
So we'll have to notice that. And then it was yesterday. All 3 mayors in the Valley were invited to speak at the Republican Women's Lunch. We each had 15 minutes. We got to go last. They saved the best for last. Gave an overview of where Fruit is at. The questions which we had were around growth and water, not surprisingly. Those were the bulk of the questions which we received. So that's all I have.
I was introduced to the museum board, but missed their last meeting. It was on the 4th Thursday, not the last Thursday. I showed up at the museum and couldn't get in. But somebody finally came downstairs and corrected me, and we were on board for
Right.
working with the museum board. That's all I have.
Yes, I was curious based on some public comment earlier, how quickly after a meeting are minutes posted from?
Once they're approved, they're posted the next day.
Okay, approved
By you.
us. So
Correct.
it can be quite a ways out before a meeting minutes actually
Yes.
shows up.
Yes.
And then, which makes total sense because we have to look over them and make sure that they feel accurate and allow public to also look over them and respond to accuracy, correct?
Correct.
That's right.
Thanks. And then, in regards to being able to find our meetings online after the fact, is that something that is happening and can be done? And if so, where?
Yeah, on our Fruita City Council page, actually, Sarah might be able to bring it up, mostly because she has the meeting up. There's a link to our YouTube page, and usually the week of, if not the next week, we have a link to our YouTube videos. We used to host them on our website, but now we just link out just because it's much easier to do that. So she's pulling it up right now.
Awesome. Okay. Very good.
And there was a recent recording that was unfortunately not recorded. I think that's reflected or will be reflected in the minutes. So if there are any missing, I believe if you open that up, Ciara, we have pretty much all through April on that as well. So April 21st, April 7th, March 3rd, February 17th, March 3rd.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And actually, March 17th was
The one that we
postponed. So that's why it's not there. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right, appreciate it. Thank you. And just like our regular meetings and workshops, like there's a council and report and a city manager. So in the agenda, it's not known what might be brought up during that time. So that does allow for things to come up that you can't just look at the agenda and know is going to happen. But everybody is always welcome at any of our meetings, public or workshop. But I do understand the concern about if you can't be here in person, how one hears about things and how talk goes from a meeting on before sometimes there can be communication on our side. And that's, I know we try to stay up on that as best as possible. Sometimes it's not possible to do it as quickly as even all of us would like for it to happen. So, but I do appreciate the comments and questions about that. We received an email, I think we all received an email from the Colorado River District again today. I think it was today. Did you see that?
Are you talking about the one in terms of water, snowpack levels, water level?
Yep, and again, asking municipalities to consider restricting water. And so I know we keep on saying that we don't have control over any of that, but do we? Because these letters keep on coming as if the municipalities can have a say in this.
So I can respond to that, Councilor Purser.
Thank you.
Fruita is not the potable water provider. You guys get your service from Ute Water Conservancy District. So Ute Water Conservancy District is likely going to adopt watering restrictions that then would be applicable within the city of Fruita. But most municipalities are the potable water service provider, and so they are implementing their own watering restrictions.
Okay, and then what about the irrigation water that a good chunk of Fruita uses for their outdoor watering? Like, do we have any jurisdiction over that either?
I mean, that's not really what the River District's concerned about. Irrigation water that's all very senior for the most part. And so the issue with the potable water for a lot of municipalities is they're subject to augmentation plans, and there's concerns, you obviously want to make sure that in a drought situation, people have water in their homes. Irrigation water isn't getting treated through people's homes.
Having said that, the city does control some of the irrigation water in the downtown corridor. Other than that, it's usually the HOAs
right,
and where they get their water from. But having said that, the city is proactively promoting and pushing the drip irrigation campaign, which even though Ute Water's pushing it, it's not Ute Water's campaign. But we are going to be putting that out continuously. My understanding is in like our Friday updates, to continuing that as a continuous message to encourage people to help conserve water.
I just wanted to double check because I knew we had already talked about that we didn't have jurisdiction over these things, but we are continually getting emails sort of asking to,
I think they're coming to us specifically. I think
it's a blast out to all.
I know it's
Yeah.
in general, but we're seeing it, and I just want to make sure because these things also are seen out in the general population, and so if it appears like this, our city's not, quote unquote, but we don't have the jurisdiction to do so. Period.
And staff has not seen those. So if you do,
I was going to say, if you could please forward.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know, I work with the River District all the time, so I can also let them know that, Ute is your water provider. And then just so there's no confusion. And that they're getting, they're, I'm sure, in touch with Ute, presumably. But just to make sure that, they understand that, that's who they need to be talking to about this issue with regard to the city of Fruita.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. I'm
Setting that to.
I did too already. Yeah. So, but
Thank you.
Thank you guys. I appreciate all of that.
We're on the distribution list as electeds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
And I don't have anything else currently.
All right.
Nothing to report. No, well, as the rumor goes, my wife and I have been looking for a house for quite a while. And as people are very well aware, it's very expensive to live in Fruita. And unfortunately, as a city councilor, I'm going to have to step down because I can't afford to live in our community anymore. But I did find an amazing home for my family, and we're moving forward with that. And we're very excited, and we're very, very blessed in the situation that we got put in. That being said, businesses are here. We are Fruitans all day long. We love Fruita. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here doing music. We're going to be here doing fitness. We're going to be here with as much as we possibly can, with as many things as we possibly can. My daughters are adamant that they are still Fruitans no matter what. But it's been my honor to sit here and have conversations and move forward with the things that we've done. I have mad respect for each one of you on so many different levels, staff and council. I envision going one at a time and just kind of telling everybody what I thought about them. But then I look at Steve and I can't say those kind of things in public, so I better not do that. But gosh, man, we live in an amazing place, and you guys just keep the stewardship in the direction that we're going. I don't know what else to say. I just wish that there was a way I could achieve both of these things, but the Lord has me going in a different direction. I am going to go ahead and give Deb some love. I think you are absolutely amazing, Deb, and without you, this city would not run. And on that note, you and Voice of God, you're my two. And on that note, I will leave you guys that Deb is City of Fruita to me. Thank you guys so much for everything that you've done and for having me in this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, James. It's been a pleasure working with you.
You too.
So to be the process guy.
I am officially stepping down from my position of city councilor at Fruita, effective at this moment. Sorry about that executive meeting that you can go ahead and have without me. I think that's very fitting that I don't come to one of those.
So in terms of process, so now that it's official, do we have to vote on accepting it? No. Okay. So since we don't have to do that, tomorrow we scheduled to put out notice that we will be accepting applications. I should start off, this is a process that we have done in the past. It has worked out well, and we're going to continue the same process. But we will put out a notice tomorrow that council will be accepting applications to fill your seat. And those applications will be open for 2 weeks. Once that application process closes, at an open meeting, council will have the opportunity to review those applications and decide how many and who they want to interview. We will host those interviews. And then once again, at an open meeting, we will have that discussion in terms of about the interviews and then make a decision. There is a timeline of 60 days of which this entire process has to happen. If we miss that 60-day window, then we have to do a special election. So the idea is we will do it within the 60 days.
Well, James, thank you for serving our community.
Yes.
Thanks.
Sad to see you go, but we're happy for your new endeavors. But we do appreciate everything that you've done on council and what you do in the community, and very happy that you'll at least stay. Your businesses are here, your talents are still here to help continue serving Fruita. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
I was hoping we had to vote on it so that way we could say no.
You can change that. I can be on it. I would be on it, but I don't know.
Still need you to be the voice of business. I know you work with the chamber.
Yeah,
To be an advocate and a voice for downtown and the business.
I'm here all day, man.
Sir.
Yeah. We'll continue to do that. So I love doing it. I just wish I could do more, but this is where I'm at.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. It's the only sad part about us getting this house. Just it's phenomenal.
No, we don't want to take away from that. It's an
Wow,
awesome.
what's this
That's a
stuff?
big deal for you.
Okay,
guys.
I don't want to take away from that.
Thanks.
Congratulations, James.
Thank you, sir.
I am sad because we were the bookend.
Look at that, guys.
The bookend hat, guys.
Ask a process question just for clarity.
Of course.
And I don't know if Mary Elizabeth is the person to chime in. I know some of us has received at least one or two, but maybe several emails about asking the question as to why do we need to go through the appointment process versus just taking the next person from the previous election that was held a month ago. So can we just have a on record in minutes explanation of that?
Do you,
Want to go first? You want me to go first?
I guess I can go first. I mean, when since I've been on council, whenever there's been a resignation, then the council has followed the process of the asking for applications, reviewing those, and appointing somebody. Whether that it was a resignation that was close to an election, whether or not that was a resignation that was almost at the end of somebody's term. So I think it just makes sense to continue, a resignation and a vacancy is a resignation and a vacancy, no matter what the timing is. And I don't see a reason to change that. I know it is close to an election that was just held, but that has been the city's process. And I believe in the charter, and Shannon, you can tell me if I'm wrong, or Mayor, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it talks about appointing somebody for that vacancy. It doesn't specify the process, but that is the process that council has used.
No matter how much I'd love to say you're wrong, you are not wrong. It does say in the charter that council shall appoint.
Perfect. I appreciate that.
All right. Anything else, Sir James?
I think that's it for me.
So in terms of moving forward for the rest of the meeting, we are going to take we'll call it a 10-minute break. Then once we come back from break, we are going to go ahead and move. Actually, we should probably adjourn from our regular scheduled meeting once we come back, and then we'll head into our executive session meetings.
Do we need to have motions and approve going into executive session before we adjourn?
We're not adjourning.
We're not adjourning.
Not adjourning. We're just
After we come back from.
We'll adjourn after the
Right,
break.
after the break. Yep.
Okay, the only thing I would say to that is if there is a chance that you guys want to take any action after an executive session, do not adjourn the meeting. I mean, you're not really adjourning the meeting anyway. Executive sessions happen within a meeting. So
Thank you very much. Thank you.
be clear.
Yep. Damn it, one of these days you're wrong.
There we go.
I've had a cupcake.
Uh-oh.
I'm about to have a second one.
Oh. Sugar. I think we're good now. Good.
Oh, okay. I was waiting.
Oh, waiting on you.
Sorry.
Looking at your cup.
Too busy stuffing.
Okay. Keep it rolling.
All right, we are back from the break. Next on our list is we have 2 executive sessions. We will, if it's all right with our city attorney, we will go and read the motions for both executive sessions up front. And then we will change recordings, go into executive sessions and read the beginning of there. Just for clarification, on the first executive session, who all is going to be in that session?
I believe that would be Shannon, Dan, myself, and
you.
you guys. Is there anybody
Okay.
else?
All right, and that will be the same for and the second one is just Shannon, yourself. Is Dan sticking around? Okay. All right, thank you for the clarification.
So when I'm fine with you making both motions right now, just go ahead and on each one, notice who's going to be joining.
Okay. So with that, I will need a motion.
I move to convene an executive session pursuant to CRS SEC 24-64024A for the purpose of discussing the city's potential purpose of property along the Colorado River and or in downtown Fruita, and to receive legal advice pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024B from the city attorney regarding the same, and to develop strategy and inform negotiators pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024E regarding the same.
And Councilor Purser, I just want to correct a typo, which came for me. It's a potential purchase, not purpose of property.
Oh, yes, okay. So moved.
All right.
Thank you.
Need a second?
Second.
All right, and once again, for clarification, those that will be in this meeting will be council, our city attorney, Mary Elizabeth Geiger, city manager, Shannon Bosson, and assistant city manager, Dan Karras, and myself, the mayor. So with that, we'll vote on this. We'll do the second one. We'll vote on that. So Deb?
Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
Counselor Kumro,
Yes.
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Now we will need a motion for the second one.
Mayor, I move to convene an executive session for the purpose of receiving advice from the city attorney pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024B regarding contract for the interim municipal judge, and to inform negotiations pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024E regarding the same.
Second.
First and a second. For the record, it should be noted, it will be city council. Mary Elizabeth Geiger, city manager Shannon Boston, myself, the mayor. All right.
Counselor Kumro,
Yes.
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
That we will be switching over our recordings. So just be a moment.